Hello guys and welcome. This is my showcase for my build Flameblast of Celerity self-cast while using Castle Channeling Body Swap for Clear. Is it T17?
I'll tear you apart!
Everything dies.
Your body is the canvas, my blade, the brush. Choose to fight, if you dare. Now, remain calm. Oh, flesh and blood. I've no choice but to let you have it.
You will know pain! Inevitable! Swift death, be gone! I will bathe this world in blood! Impressive, but futile. You will know pain! Be gone!
And yeah, that's basically the build as you saw. The clear is very good with body swap and the single target is also high. As you saw, I tanked 2 slam from Pycia. I think I blocked one and the second one I tanked it, not sure. That wasn't intentional though. I wanted to avoid it. Anyhow, yeah, this build is a low life Flameblast. I can show you the rest of the map without the body swap. I know it's not a playstyle for everybody, but I've been playing this build until level 95 without body swap, and it is performing very well. So, look at this. Very good, especially with the fast flame. You have very fast mobility, you have very high cast speed. It's very comfortable. This is the build that I league started with. It went through a lot of variations. It was great at league start, but fell off at after tier 10 maps, but that's because I was really reliant on getting the annihilating light for damage, and at the beginning it was both hard to cap my resistances with it, and also it was a little bit expensive to get a good rolled one, because it's a drop from Uber Exarch. But now it's very cheap. It's a very common meeting from Uber Exarch. So yeah, that's the build. I'm using the Admiral with Doryanis, of course. So yeah, I'm using Doryanis to make all the enemies' resistances equals minus 200, and I'm using the Admiral to abuse the line. Elemental damage you deal with hits is resisted by lowest elemental resistance instead. So I'm using the lightning resistance of enemies to deal my fire damage. That's how I'm using it. I'm using also Comms Binding to convert physical damage to fire, along with my Elementalist. That's 65% of phys converted to fire. Kingmaker gives me Fortify and Rarity, and the rest of the gear is for survivability. I also have Temporal Chains with +1 curse to slow down the boss, and I have Enfeeble from my own. Now, as you see, very big area. We have also from the ascendancy we take the golems, gives us a lot of free stats. Free even more because I'm having Primordial Bond here, and you get a lot of buffs, free buffs from golems. I'm also using Shape of Storms, Shape of Flames, and Bastion of Elements. I'm taking Heart of Destruction with 2 Forbidden Jewels, and that gives us a lot of area of effect for clearing, and when we are on single target we get 30% more elemental damage. We're not using Elemental Overload because when you crit on challenge skills, you first of all, we don't invest much into crit if you have Elemental Overload, so you have to be a fast hitting skill to get Overload uptime. However, with challenge skills, when you roll for a critical strike, you roll it only once per channel. That means all these hits are considered one channel, meaning if you crit on the first one, you will crit on the rest. If you don't crit on the first one, none of the rest will crit. So you can see the problem here. If you have like 10% or 20% even chance to crit, you basically have to fish for the Elemental Overload until you get the buff icon under here, and now you know you have crit, and you will have it for 8 seconds, and after 8 seconds you will have to fish for it, and it's a clunky playstyle. I had it for a while, I didn't like it. I was considering to go full crit then, but even full crit has a problem, the same problem. If you don't have 100% crit chance, you won't have it all the time. And the bigger problem is you don't know when you are critting or not, because unlike Elemental Overload, you don't get an icon or any indication that you are dealing critical strikes right now. So it's even like feels foolish to invest into crit, especially when you can't get 100% crit. Maybe with power charge stacking, but not on this build. I'm using, as I said, Annihilating Light, free damage. I have cast speed implicit on it, but you don't need it. Honestly, it frees, if you have the original one, which is spell block, it might free some passive skills for you, so depends on what you want. The gear is very simple: life resistances, regen, and armor gear. I have cover enemies in ash on myself and on my merc as well. My Merc has a War Cry, and he covers enemies in Ash, same as me. My Merc also has Flamelink, which gives me a lot of flat fire damage. I have this, and also Flamelink itself gives me a lot of flat damage. The downside of Flamelink, though, if you die yourself, the Merc himself will also die with you. So, since I'm reliant on my Merc for Doryanis, I can't let myself die in maps because, yeah, if he dies, if I die, we both die, and the rest of the map I deal like 2% of my original damage. I'm very, very reliant on the minus resistance from Doryani. Excuse my speech, I have a hard time speaking. My English is not native. And yeah, the gear is very simple. For the rings, I have I wanted to benefit from this jewel. Constant credit ground while you are stationary if you have two Crusader armor items equipped. And that gives us 5% life regen and what is it? 50% reduced curse effect. Very, very good. Way cheaper than Rational Doctrine, and you only get it for the price of some Crusader Exalted Orbs. So Crusader Orb to get this effect for Consecrate Ground. I'm also using Red Nightmare here with fire resistance tattoos on here to get block. Getting block here with the staff attack block is a bit hard to cap because most of the staff nodes here give spell block instead of attack block. But some of them do give attack block, and I'm sitting at around 69, 71 block. If I'm casting, it's 74, 77. The reason why I'm casting is because I have, where is it? This here. Chance to block attack and spell damage while channeling. So yeah, I'm using large cluster, very reasonable primordial with life and attributes. Some 2 medium clusters. I have them because I have a chance to avoid being stunned while channeling. 50% here, 50% here, that's 100%. 5% block here, and some regen. Very, very good jewels. I'm level 99, that's how I got everything. I have some also crit reduction because we are an int character, we are an int side of the tree, but we don't really benefit from intelligence. We don't invest in mana nor energy shield. So I invested into crit reduction on the intelligence nodes, and I have minus 55% on extra crit damage. I don't think there is anything else to talk about. I have Warcry speed here, the Rugraft, to get easy access to Enduring Cry while dealing with bosses. You apply Ash when you Warcry and you get Endurance Chargers easily. And I think that's all about it. I also am using Ashes. What, 180% more damage, more spell damage. It's additive with more damage from the spell itself, but it's very good. I think it's the best amulet for damage. I'm also anointing Ash, Frost, and Storm It gives us elemental damage, but most importantly, it gives us increased effect of non-damaging elements. And I have a couple on the tree itself. I have one from 10% from Elementalist. I think there is here more. No, there is not more. But there's also here 20%. And when I shock any enemy, the minimum shock on the enemy itself will be 40%. Because we have 5% from Shiver of Storms. And with all the element effect, you scale it up to 40%. And even on some pinnacle bosses, because of how big our hits are and big our damage is, I sometimes reach 50%, but the minimum is always 40%. We have a lot of mitigation. I think my phys max hit on BOB is 30,000 phys max hit and 50,000 elemental max hit. So very tanky. We have a lot of avoidance through block and all elemental immunity through Purity of Elements. Not elemental ailments immunity. And also we were using petrified blood, as I said, to be low life and not have a big consequence for reserving half of our life. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like the build, give it a thumbs up. I'll leave the BOB in description, and if you have any question, feel free to ask.